Good morning, folks. It's me, Waylon Ledet, Governor, Louisiana. I like the ring of it. I think you like the ring of it too. I want to be your next governor. Just wanted to shoot a little video, say hey, how are you doing out there? Hope everybody's doing good. I was thinking about it. You probably want to know, okay, you want to be governor, what are you going to do differently, right? So I thought about this last night. My number one goal, number one focus, if you great people would elect me to be your governor, would be education. Now, hear me out on this. We all know, just like the song says, the children are our future, right? Lead them, what is it? Lead them right and let them, teach them right and let them lead the way. I'm not Whitney Houston. No, but it's right though, right? The children are the future. We want to change Louisiana right now for the better. But we want to sustain that, right? So in order to sustain that, we're going to have to teach our kids, even adults, right? Teaching. We learn. You never stop learning throughout life. The only time you ever stop learning is when you die. That's it. So look at statistics of education, right? Louisiana versus all the states, the United States of America, right? It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Ooh, the sun's great today. It's really bad. If not dead last almost, but it's bad. It's bad. And I can attest to the school systems in Louisiana that are horrible, right? When I was a kid, I moved around a lot. I've lived in Maryland, Florida, South Carolina, and Louisiana, of course, right? This little story, I failed the 6th grade, right? So when I was 5 or 6 years old, I moved to Maryland as a kid. My parents got jobs there, right? Lived up there for 3 years. We moved to Florida for like a year and a half, 2 years. Then we moved to South Carolina for about a year and a half. Then we came back to Louisiana. Now, I went to junior high and high school in Louisiana. So in junior high, when I got back to Louisiana, in the school system there, you just put it this way, I was so bored at school because the things they were teaching in the 6th grade in Louisiana was what I learned in like the 2nd and 3rd grade in other states like Maryland, Florida, right? I was so bored with school. There was no challenge. So what did I do? I skipped school a lot. I just didn't want to go to school because it was just boring. And I went through the school systems and everything they were teaching up to like junior high and high school level, I was learning that in elementary school in other states. It was crazy. Crazy. It's so bad in Louisiana. The education system is horrible. Go to another state and see what it's like. Louisiana's education system is horrible, right? So we've got to fix it. How do we fix it? Well, we need to give teachers pay raises. We need to compensate them for what they're worth. And what I mean by that is we're not going to have teachers just going there, sitting down, collecting a check. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to produce. You're going to have to work. I want to give you raises, but not just for you to sit on your butt and babysit kids all day long. No, you need to learn how to interact with kids. We got to have better training for teachers, how to teach better. Just like when I was in the military, you're always getting trained. Once or twice a week we had classes on how to do things better, even though we were doing things. We always had classes, always learning. Same thing with a teacher. Teachers need to have that ongoing education they may have ongoing education classes they got to take, but I'm talking about, you sit there collectively as like a school, one school, and this is part of your job. You sit there and you learn how to be a better teacher. How can I be more effective? Things like that. Yes, I would take into account grades, because it's your job to teach these kids, one, but it's also your job to motivate them to want to be better in school, right? Now you're going to say, oh, well, it's not, you can't put all the grades on a teacher because it's the student. Well, you want to be a teacher, you're going to teach. Because if you don't want to be a teacher and teach, we'll go find somebody who wants to be, who wants to make really good money, because I want to make that a very high-paid professional job. I said professional. Professional means you know what you're doing. You gotta love what you're doing there. But we have to figure out we have to come together. Like I said, I don't have all the answers. I have ideas. We can work together on the answers. We got to get teachers paid more, but as a professional, but they have to do their job. It's based on grade performance, and we'll have to come together and figure out every exact thing on how to make that better. We got to pump more money into the school systems, books, the schools itself, keeping them up to grade, supplies, teachers pay, extracurricular activities. Got to instill extracurricular activities. We have to get that going. I'm talking about the sports, arts, music, things, just clubs after school, maybe before school, things like that. Make sure we have good transportation to and from school. So we have to work on that all together, because we build that, we can become number one in education, right? That'll just be great for the state, because now we'll be producing very smart individuals, very smart kids, right? They'll go on to do better things in life. We'll help them succeed. They can help the state succeed. So it all starts with education. So we have to get in there together and figure out how to make that better. How can we become number one in the United States in education? And I'm not all for this political BS about bathrooms for girls and boys, and no, I'm gonna put it into that right now. Girls playing boys sports and boys playing girls sports, absolutely not. That would not happen in Louisiana. Science says there's two genders, male and female. There could be what's called a hermaphrodite, which is both. Has both, right? That's an exception. You have a vagina, you're a girl. You have a penis, you're a boy. That's the bathrooms you will use. You have a vagina, you're a girl. You have a penis, you're a boy. That's the sport you will play in. If it's has to be separated by sex. There's a reason sports are separated. And I hate to go off on a tangent about this, but unfortunately in this day and age you have to talk about these things along with schooling, because I'm talking about bringing like sports and extracurricular activities into everything to help bring up the education system. This is going to fall into it, and I'll tell you right now, BS. Boys use the boys' bathroom, girls use the girls' bathroom. Boys play sports with boys, girls play sports with girls, unless it's an intramural sport. I would pass legislation, or I would attempt to have legislation passed that says just that. You cannot have, for instance, if you're in high school playing track and field, right? You got a running event, right? I don't know all the running events, right? 400 meter dash run, whatever it is, right? If you go with what's being passed right now in the White House, saying that boys can participate in girls' sports, so girls track and field, 400 meter run, that boy is going to dominate that female every day of the week. Every day of the week. Those girls have no chance. That's BS. Can't do that. All this, oh, I want to be a girl. I'm a boy, but I want to be a girl. And I'm a girl, I want to be a boy. Listen, I'm not saying that's bad. Everybody has those choices in life. But that does not need to be made until you get out of high school. When you become an adult later on in life is when you can make those choices. You are a child. We're going to teach you correctly. But it's very unfair. You say the federal government says they want to be fair in doing this, but it's making it very unfair. Right? So that's our position on that, okay? I want to make education the number one priority. Now, number two priority that we need to be worked on also, all at the same time, right? Economy and tourism. I kind of put them together. Economy and tourism. We need to boost the economy. Louisiana has a very low economy, right? What do we have in Louisiana? Absolutely nothing. There's some manufacturing. A lot of the oil. It's a lot of oil, but all that's going out of business. There's nothing there, and it doesn't seem to be growing. So we need to get manufacturers to come to Louisiana, or we need people to start building things in Louisiana and shipping them out, right? Become a hub. Get distribution centers down there. There's a few. Let's get many. Let's get all of them. Let's build these huge Amazon fulfillment centers. Let's get these huge distribution centers all across the state. We have rail everywhere in Louisiana. We have ports all in the south. New Orleans, Galliano, Morgan City, Lake. I mean, you got a whole Gulf Coast to use as a port. You got airways. You got big airports. We can get trucking companies down here to start moving stuff. And there's so much land that can be used. We need to get manufacturing up and running of different things. We need to get distribution centers out. We need to get business booming down there. We also need to get tourism back. Now, I know with everything that's been going on, tourism took a dump. Okay. I understand you take a pause because you don't know what's going on. I can understand that, and if you watch some of my past videos, you know that I don't agree with everything that's going on. But that time has passed. We now understand things. We know things. We know things were wrong, but nobody wants to admit it. This guy right here, I have common sense. I always said I use common sense on everything. I have common sense. I have a medical background, especially in that. Now, it's time to open that state up for business. Business as normal. Business as normal. So that's what I would. My number one and number two goal. Number one is education, because we got to keep sustained and keep going. Number two is economy/tourism, because listen, that's where the money comes in. Economy also, I've mentioned in another video, like the movie industry. We got to give tax breaks to certain industries to get them to come to Louisiana and to stay. There's nothing wrong with giving tax breaks to, say, like the movie industry. There's nothing wrong with it. Hey, tax breaks, I want to get rid of the state tax and kind of do like, Florida and Texas, no state tax. No state taxes. Instead, what we'll do, by offsetting it, I'm gonna tell you right up front, your property taxes, yes, they are gonna go up a little bit, and sales taxes, like on items such as when you buy groceries or items from like Walmart, there's gonna be just a little bit of tax put on that. I'd rather spend a couple dollars on taxes when I buy something than have the state just taking my money throughout the year and I don't even see it. I'd rather willfully spend my money and have to pay the taxes on some goods than have the state just take my money. Okay, so I want to eliminate the state tax. Well, folks, it's just a few of my ideas I have. I don't know if this will ever go anywhere of me becoming governor, but I would love to. I would love to have the opportunity because I'm no nonsense. I'm not taking any BS from anybody. I'm not a politician. We don't need politicians running everything. We don't need politicians at all. There needs to be term limits on everything, from federal government to state government to local governments. Term limits. Like Senator Ted Cruz from Texas. Introduced term limits. I believe in that. But we need to do better. It seems like nothing's being done in our state to improve it. And everything's being done in our state to bring it down or keep it down. Because they want to live off of the poor person's vote. They want to keep you poor and keep you there and just feed you money every now and then so they can get your vote. That's BS. That's BS. So it's time to make a change. It's time to change for the better. I hope I can get your vote. You know what? God bless y'all. Have a good one.